Yeah.
There's Good morning, everybody. It is 10 o'clock. We are going to go ahead and get started.
It should be on that app.
Very efficient and mindful of your time this morning. We got some cool stuff happening, so we'll go ahead and get started. Let me get like the thing order. Maybe. No. Oh, I didn't turn it on. That's fine. Okay, so our core value this morning: we reject the status quo and encourage innovation. We hate complacency and are always looking for ways to do what we do better. Team members are encouraged to think outside the box and innovate. As a company, we pivot fast and often, always looking for more ways to improve and find a better way. So after we do our market update and we visit with Reese Arrington from Arrington Roofing, we're going to have Jamey come in and start doing AI training. He's calling it AI for Real Humans. And we're going to do this the first Wednesday of every month for the spring. So January, February, March, April, May. Jamey will be here to do that. So we're real excited about him doing that. And then I've got some other surprises for you as we go through the spring as well. So right now, we're going to talk to Reese Arrington. He brought us breakfast. So let's say thank you, Reese, for breakfast. Number one.
Thanks, Reese. You're very welcome.
And I'm going to stop presenting and let him present his presentation on that side. So let me get my mouse and stop. You're up, Reese.
All right.
Take it away.
I think this is going to work.
There we go.
All right, and present. Okay. All right. Hi, my name is Reese Arrington. I'm with Arrington Roofing. My dad started this company in 1983, so we've been around for a long time. And I'm sure you guys have roofers, and so if you do, you can still use them. We'll be a backup if you need something. But the purpose of being here today is there's some cool developments in roofing and changes in the industry that affect homeowners, will affect you personally if you own homes. And then there's a program that's new, it's really cool, and involves grant money. And I'm going to talk about that at the end. So just to give you a little overview, talk about the state of the industry, some changes in insurance, what you can do about it, a better roofing product, and just a little bit about us. So you guys probably know there's rising deductibles, rising premiums across the insurance landscape. And we're in North Texas, #1 area for hail damage. And so this is going to affect a lot of homeowners' pocketbooks because they're not going to be able to wait for an insurance claim because their deductibles are going to be through the roof, right? They're going to pay a lot of money out of pocket. There's a low barrier to entry. There's no license or regulation to be a roofer in the state of Texas. So you have to have a license to be a barber, electrician, plumber. You have to be master certified for these trades. And you have to do nothing like that to be a roofer. So anybody can do it, and that should be a little bit scary. And that's why 80% of roofers fail within 2 years, and that number goes up to 96 in 5. So if you're putting on a 20-year, 30-year, 50-year product, and your roofer's not there to service it for the rest of its life, that can be a big problem. We do a lot of repairs. We love doing repairs, but we're fixing other people's mistakes a lot of the time. And so it's always going to be way cheaper and more cost-effective to fix it right and do it right first time. Okay, deductibles and depreciation. You guys might know this already. This might be an overview, but deductibles are a representation of the total home value, not of the claim on a property. So if you have a $10,000 claim, it's not going to be 2% deductible is not going to be $200. It's going to be represented by a percentage of the actual home value. And depreciation is just the loss of value over time. You guys know that. And it's represented of a percent total of the value of the damaged property. So if you have a claim and it's it's a 20-year product, it gets damaged at year 10, they're going to depreciate that 50%. You'll receive that depreciation. And if you don't, then whatever was damaged that you don't fix will not be covered if you have a storm next. Okay, ACV and RCV, the two most common policy types. And if anyone can tell me the answer on what these stand for, I'll give you a cool mug.
RTC, actual cash value replacement cost.
Man, that was awesome. I've done this in front of I've done this in front of groups of 50 and nobody gets that. That's really impressive. Awesome. Yeah, so ACV, actual cash value replacement cost value. One is to replace it like new. So they're going to give you the money to do everything that's RCV. ACV represents the current as is value. So I use kind of a chocolate bar example, right? If I have a chocolate bar, I eat half of it and then I drop the other half. Under an
So
AC,
then-
under,
technical.
under an ACD policy, they're just gonna pay for the half that I dropped, because I already ate half of it. Under an RCD policy, they're gonna pay for the entire top of the bar to be replaced. So, most of the time, homeowners are gonna have an RCD policy. Changes in insurance, premiums rose over 27% year over year. You've seen anecdotal evidence that it's risen 100% in some years. It's just gone skyrocketing. And just for the record, usually rates and your deductible or your premiums are not going to go up because you file a claim. It's going to go up by the zip code of the area you live in. So if you're hesitant, I don't want to file a claim because I don't want my rates to go up, they're going to go up anyways. So you might as well go ahead and file a claim. Deductibles have gone from 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. I'll show you that in a second. And then homeowners insurance has been denied on roofs that are just 10 years old. So, if you're doing a home sale and the roof's in that 10 to 15 year range, you want to be sure, especially if you're representing a buyer, that they get approved on their insurance during that process, so that they don't have their insurance come out and say, hey, we're not insuring this roof. And now the buyer has to, bear that financial responsibility when it could have been negotiated during closing. So higher out-of-pocket expense for homeowners. So no more free roofs. Waiting for a roof claim or a hailstorm isn't really going to be a great financial option in the future. And to illustrate that, you can see the home values vary here. And at a 5% deductible on a $250,000 home, it's $12,500. On a $1 million home, it's $50,000. And this is where deductibles are going. So on a 2,000 square foot house, the average roof is $12,500, and a 3,000 square foot home is 20. On a 5,000 square foot home, it's 30,000. So you might have coverage technically on paper, but if you have these high deductible rates, you're essentially coming out of pocket for your roof. I'm sorry. Did I not mute me?
No, I'm on mute. Just your computer.
Thank you. Yeah.
So it doesn't keep talking back to you.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. So what you can do is you can essentially self-insure and just take a higher deductible and pay less in premiums. My dad did this on his house. He's right in the center of Dallas. There's hardly any hail claims, so he went and took the 5% deductible, and he's going to save on his premiums, because usually they'll kind of be one or the other, high premiums, low deductibles, and vice versa. Get roofs inspected ASAP. You don't want to wait to have these problems come up, because it's not just it's not just going to go away. If you want to avoid finding an issue because you're selling the home and you don't want to discover these things you have to disclose, most likely they're going to be found out, especially when the insurance comes in to get the policy. So smoother sales process saves you time, less stress, happy customers, more referrals, even if it means discovering something that might not be ideal on the property. And the best solution that we think is getting out of the hail game entirely, which is the F-Wave product. And these are class 4 shingles. It's a 50-year product, has a 5-year warranty. It's going to increase the home value. It's going to lower your premiums, has a beautiful aesthetic. They're designed to look like slate shake. It's kind of an asphalt equivalent look. So you get out of the hail game entirely. We shoot an ice cannon, an ice cannon that shoots these 2-inch ice balls at 60 miles an hour. It'll break the decking before it damages the shingle. So they're extremely durable, and they'll last 50 years, and they look amazing. And so here I gave you the sheet. This is kind of an example of how much savings you can get over time. So on an asphalt roof, I don't know if you can see it. It's a little glare for me. On the second one, you're paying $54. On the third one, at year 42, you're paying $105. So your purchase cost, no insurance discounts, is $190,000. Over the life of the F-Wave product, which lasts 50 years, you pay more upfront, right? A little more than 2 times this one. But at the end of the day, over 50 years, you pay $67,000. You get some discounts of $37,000 a year, and then it's going to be $29,000 total for that 50-year investment. You break these down into your prices down here, your year-over-year cost is way less. So if you can afford to think long-term, which not everybody can, there might be cash flow issues that prevent that, then you might be able to. But if you can think long-term, it is a really great financial solution. Even if you wanted to finance it, you're probably still going to spend less money on this F-Wave than you would otherwise. Okay, finally, my last thing, this is a program called Fortify. And it takes code from Miami-Dade, because that is the strictest code in the nation, because they deal with all those hurricanes. And we've applied it to a program that really the insurance lobby is backing this, because what hurts the insurance companies the most isn't just roofs getting torn off, it's water getting in the home. It's when they have to replace hardwood floors and bathrooms and kitchens, and that's where all the money goes. And so this idea is that it's sealing up the roof and the underlayment and the edges to prevent water entry. And so they've lobbied to get grant money, and this grant money is going to people who are in a certain income bracket, and they can get up to $17,000 to put this type of roof on from grants. So sometimes it's going to make more sense than others. But if you have a smaller home, and you meet the income requirements, then your roof can be maybe instead of $15,000, might be $5,000. So just so you guys can see, I don't think I had it in this presentation, but basically it's 1.2 times the average. So it's not that hard to qualify for. It's anywhere from $90,000 a year income up to like 150, depending on how much income and how many kids and dependents you have in the house. Okay, so before I go to the next slide, does anybody have any questions about what I've talked about so far?
You put a lot of F-wave on.
We have. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just a beautiful shingle. I actually had some samples I meant to bring in, but I can leave one with you before I go. So just a little bit about us, and then I'll let y'all get to your business. We've been in business 40 years. We have great ratings with our clients, 4.9 stars on Google with over 300 reviews, I think now. We're insured, which isn't a requirement in Texas. We won lots of awards. We're members of voluntary organizations, which is huge because it adds that layer of accountability when we don't have the state to hold us accountable. We'll give you custom proposals, line items, single point of contact throughout the whole sales system. We're fully staffed. We have an actual office with a showroom so you can come see shingle samples in these big mock-ups. And we have a 10-year labor warranty. If you guys want to come to any of our events, you feel free to scan the QR code. We have a big barbecue in the summer with like 300 people. My dad's in a 60s, 70s rock and roll band, and he sings lead singer. So feel free to scan if you guys want to come. But other than that, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
So you work all the Metroplex proper? I mean, how
Yeah.
far out do you go? Do you go to like Burleson?
Yeah, I mean,
Weatherford?
definitely anything in between here and Dallas, but we'll come to Fort Worth. I mean, if you got something that you really need out in White Settlement, we can kind of evaluate that. But yeah,
Weatherford's too far.
Weatherford,
30 minutes west of here,
that might be kind of.
because your cruiser with Dallas base.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're putting an F-wave on $1 million house in Weatherford, you can go.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll go.
Depends on the situation.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir.
Reese, thank you so much
Yeah,
for being here.
thank
Anything
you.
for breakfast? Can we take Reese? I'll put all his contact information. I'm gonna grab a card right now, stick it in my pocket so I can put this in.
Is this what you put up?
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is kind of our cheeky advertisement.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
hail season's coming up, so put this in your door, and then we have all of our solicitations on the back for you.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
feel
why
free.
would you do this?
I
I
know.
was like, oh, I get
Yeah,
it.
the back, yeah. Guys, I would stay and hang out. My colleague was sick, and she was gonna hang out with you guys. I have another presentation to go to, but next time I'll be sure to hang out and talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Reese.
you, guys.
Appreciate you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Okay, so right after we're done with the market update, Jamie will do AI for real humans. Next week, we've got Don Majostic and Radek and Tyler will be here. She and I have not discussed what we're going to talk about, so I don't know how long they'll be here, but Don will be coming, and they usually have really good content. Everybody, I'm sure you saw my freak out on Saturday morning on Slack. The Realm portal sent
you're
every
welcome.
realtor in the state.
Always freak out. I was like,
Well, I freaked out too because we were driving and I was like, oh my God, let me fix this.
Yeah.
So they had a glitch and things are still work in progress. Everything is coming online slowly but surely. Everything they put online, there's a glitch with it and they take it back off and then they put it back on if they get fixed because they figure out what's going wrong. Wish they'd have done that before they started, but here we are. Real Scout did a major update this week. If you haven't been on Real Scout, refresh your browser. They now have the AI search, the engagement scoring and contact enrichment. I've got in the brokerage announcements channel, I'll put these links so you can go and see those things that are available to you now in Real Scout. The AI search is fairly cool. You can just tell AI what you want instead of searching for it on MLS, and it will actually pull those listings from MLS. So I need a 4-bedroom house in this school district with this many square foot, and it'll pull just those
You
houses.
can really get into specifics, right?
Yeah.
As long as it's in the description.
It's AI. It's full AI. It's basically ChatGPT inside Real Scout. In case you missed it, ReChat now integrates fully with Canva, and there's an app that you can install. Put those links in the guides channel yesterday. So those are fully they work together now.
Oh, like you, so you can like,
So will that,
for flyers? That's what I'm saying, like if you do something in Canva, you can just upload it.
It connects.
Look at that.
To reach out.
do you think it will convert, like if you like build an email out, like that bullet template? Because I hate ReChat.
Yeah,
Just try it.
I
See
really-
if you can make it work. But the other thing that's coming is Real Scout and ReChat are about to put a connector together.
yeah.
And that's coming later this year, hopefully in the spring, but it may be the fall before they get it done. Well, that's how that will. Okay. Y'all want to pass that around? Oh, we're-
That's when he was saying they blast whatever it is.
It's metal. It's a
Yeah.
metal roof.
Oh.
It's a metal composite,
60 grand for the roof.
Yep.
but you don't ever have to replace it.
Yeah.
No replacement.
Wow.
Okay, so last week's review, let's start with the update. So the housing market is settling into a healthy early year rhythm, supported by rising inventory, steady buyer demand, more move-in-ready options for the builders. Existing and new home sales are holding up well as affordability improves and supply expands. Overall, the combination of more choice, steadier pricing, and consistent demand points to a balanced and constructive start to 2026. Markets closed January on stable ground. Investors gain confidence. The Fed is nearing the end of its tightening cycle, supported by growing inflation, a softening labor market, and resilient consumer spending. Despite short-term volatility, the broader takeaway is a steady economy with focus shifting to long-term fundamentals rather than daily market swings. This week's key data will focus on jobs, the services sector, and consumer sentiment. Economists expect the labor market to remain steady and service activity to keep expanding. Together, these signals support a stable backdrop as the housing market moves further into the first quarter. Bottom line is this: the market's calm, balanced, moving forward. It's not rushing, it's not stalling. With steady buyer demand, improving affordability, stable economic backdrop, this is a market where clear guidance, preparation, and consistent communication matter more than timing or urgency. Before I do rate watch, is anybody doing the CMA challenge? Okay, I've got a couple head nods. Good.
Doing
Okay.
our own thing.
Okay.
Well, a
Different spin.
Okay. Well, during the ice, I did 46.
We did.
I got them all done and they're all ready to go. And instead of doing it once a week, I'm doing it every 3 days. So Scott, I'm sorry, let me introduce. This is Scott. I apologize. We have a new face here. This is Scott Kimball.
Yes.
I had to think about it. I had to get my word association. And he is becoming a new agent and is considering coming to 6 now. So welcome, Scott.
Absolutely, thank you.
So what we're talking about with the CMA is a comparative market analysis. And what we do is we get our past sphere of influence and we send them an unasked for comparative market analysis of their house. Is that the right word?
No, I don't think so.
Unsolicited. Unsolicited. I like that. Well, like the words, y'all, when you're standing up here, you get the words you get, okay? So unsolicited CMA, and then you just send it to them, send them a video message and say, hey, I just sent you something in the mail, not trying to get you to move, just want you to know where your house fits in today's market. 3 days later, you text back and you say, hey, did you get what I sent you? Any questions about it? Usually there's none. It's just a way to keep in touch, giving value to your clients that before you ask for anything of them. And we don't ask anything of them except to remember us. So I've got 46 already prepped and then a line in my cabinet. So I'm doing Tuesday mailings and Friday mailings for the next 4 weeks. And I'm just going to send them out and get them out there as quickly as I can. That way the market data that I pulled is all fresh, at least within a month, as opposed to if I wait till the end of May to send out that last one, well, the market may have changed by then. So depending on how you're developing them, if you're doing the CMAs quickly, you can get them out quicker, is what I'm telling you. Rate watch, I'm sorry.
I did add on mine just to test it this year. I added a QR code to what's my house worth on my website. So whenever it comes in, I can see that
Oh, that's a great idea. Seeing reaction.
Yep, just
Okay.
to see if they get curious about it, and then it's like, okay, now I know, now I know.
That's what we, yeah.
I made this little card and rock.
Mhm,
Like, it's my AI cartoon
mhm.
Yeah.
and a QR code.
Yeah.
Isn't it nerdy?
We're gonna talk about that in just a minute on the easy steps or easy things to do this week. Rates are settling, not sliding. Mortgage rates moved sideways this week as lenders digested recent inflation data and bond market stability, signaling a pause, not reversal, after early improvements. Borrowers are adjusting to the new normal. With rates holding steady, buyers and refinancers are increasingly moving forward based on affordability and life timing instead of waiting for a perfect rate. The rate story right now is normalization. When rates stop dominating headlines, conversations shift back to housing decisions, and agents who help clients plan around today's reality, not yesterday's rates, stay relevant and trusted. So here's the rate watch. So they moved just 1/10 of a point week over week. However, there were quite a few little ups and downs. But guys, we're talking about 0.3 of a point. It's not much. It went down. I saw it on Tuesday. It was at 6.16. Yesterday at 4 o'clock, it went back to 6.2. It's fine. Let's just keep moving forward. It's much better than what we were looking at in March of last year at 6.81.
Real quick, can you go back to that?
Yes, sir.
This would be a great social post. Last year, this time was 6.81. Today it's at 6.19. If you need a content idea, that would be.
You can pull this directly from my slides in the brokerage announcements channel later today,
Yeah.
if you want to do that. Here's the market pulse, Marissa's view, just for, okay, so Scott, this is
That's
Carissa.
me.
And he used to have a slide that got really, really intense with numbers because I'm a numbers guy. And everybody would look at me and go, so Carissa said, can you just give us like a better visualization? So this is what this is. This is pulled directly from the front page of Metris, of the MLS matrix. And this is the individual counties because these are all the counties that we all focus and do our work in. We have agents that work in all of these counties. Then we look at the 6 counties as one lump sum because that is all of those 6 counties combined, which are the largest 6 counties in the North Texas area. Then we look at the full MLS, and this is a 7-day picture. This is just something to measure the pulse of the market. That's all it really does.
And full MLS includes Houston, Louisiana, all of
Full
it.
MLS.
All of it.
Yep, everything that's going on in our MLS. And there's talk of some consolidation coming later this year between us and some of the other MLSs in the state. There's talk. We'll see what happens. Local market update. Population and workforce growth continues. North Texas remains one of the fastest growing regions in the country. Steady in migration, tied to corporate relocations, job growth, and lower overall cost of living compared to coastal markets. Housing supply is rebalancing. It's not flooding. Inventory remains higher than last year, but new listings are being absorbed more evenly, especially in well-priced homes under the median price point where buyer activity is strongest. Builders are still driving the buyer expectations. New construction across DFW continues to influence pricing and concessions, making builder incentives a key comparison point for resale homes in nearby neighborhoods. Put a house under contract Saturday, new construction in Aledo, $435,000. They gave her $30,000 in incentives. So they've knocked that price basically down to about 400. Took about 8.5%. And then from the builder is Riverside. DFW's growth story is intact, but the housing market now rewards strategy, pricing accuracy, and preparation. Agents who understand local competition, including the builders, and guide clients with real expectations will continue to win trust in deals. Okay, one easy way to use this week's data. Begin to reset the conversations. So reach out to 3 people and ask, now that things are moving again after the ice and spring is starting to feel real, have your housing plans changed at all? Or are you just starting to think through options? And then listen. People have momentum again, post-ice early year reset. The markets is balanced, giving clients room to think and plan. They don't have to make super quick decisions until you get into those micro markets where you're in multiple other situations, which we still see. One easy suggestion of what to do this week Turn earlier movement into momentum with a simple reset. Text or call through your database, no prep, no market update, and say, now that people are back out and things feel normal, I wanted to reconnect with you, no pressure. Just wanted to see if your housing plans are clearer, still fuzzy, or totally undecided. This is a re-engagement week, so you know where momentum is forming. Exactly what you said a moment ago. You want to see, we're not trying to create momentum right now, we're trying to recognize momentum. Who are the people that are thinking April, May? Because those are the people you need to be focusing your time and your efforts on, and getting those people ready for what they're about to go. When people start moving again, the best agents move closer, not louder. Did you know industry research shows that buyers who start their home search early in the year often face less competition and have more room to negotiate? One reason the first quarter is traditionally a strong planning period for serious buyers. Here's the business tip of the week. February is a great month to refine your systems. Take time to tighten follow-up plans, refresh marketing touch points, and reconnect with referral partners. Small process improvements now can make the rest of the year run smoother and more profitably. It's a hard word to say. So that's what's going on. Jamey is now going to take over, and we're right on time. I told him 10:25, so look at me go. Next week, I will have some new stuff for you, and Don McYostick, dramatic, will be here. Jamey, the floor is yours. I will stop presenting and let you have it. And I can move my computer over if you like. I'm gonna take the
Oh, they're older, yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
That's why I put them up there. Did you see Jimmy's I use? No, it's from like 2016.
All right, let me see. Is it behind my head?
The camera?
That's right there.
No, it's over there. Sorry. Okay. This out of your way.
It's using your computer.
Yeah, it's using your computer.
Oh, because you're on.
Hello. On the Google.
We don't do the meeting. Change the camera. But when you start presenting pictures. Great title company.
Share. All right, we're rocking and rolling.
Good to go.
Is that weird looking at my nose? Should I pop that? Yeah, hey guys. So I did it a year ago, but it was like a stormy time. I've been doing this a bit for some of our storytime clients and my consulting clients. So I have a lot here, but I'm doing this for a few weeks. So I'm going to see how far we get, kind of based on how everybody's, how much, like in here, like how often are you using AI?
Every day.
Every day. Are y'all like every day? Is anybody like not every day? You, where we did get on here? I know it's probably good. So some of this, if like some of my introductory stuff may be a little redundant, and if it is, just be like, James, let's get into the more granular stuff. So we can do that. Let's see. I'm gonna skip through some of this stuff. The biggest thing, like with like small little time savings, add up in a big way. Like one of the things I've been talking about with my girls and my daddy lessons, driving them to school, is like small things compound. Small steps, big results. And I found that with AI, like I kind of feel like a superhero. I can like you can almost figure out and do anything. It saved me so much time in just my daily operations. So small tips have a big result. So here's the tools I use. I am a ChatGPT person. You're using Grok.
I love Grok.
You do?
And Gemini is really good as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I do Gemini a lot.
You do Gemini. Anybody use Claude? So Grok is like the Twitter Elon Musk. So here's how I like ChatGPT is my main go-to. Because for me, like I feel like that's where the biggest investment is. It's they're updating all the time. Claude is my favorite for voice. I think Claude is the best writer. So if you have any, like if you're in ChatGPT and it just
Sorry, there's too much echoing.
oh, it's echoing. Oh, is it my microphone? Oh, maybe that's why. Sorry, guys. Is that better? Is this view annoying? Should I get rid of my camera?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at all the numbers.
Right.
Great.
Sorry, Kristen and Rachel. So ChatGPT is my go-to. Like I use that 90% of the time. And I'll show you why here in a sec. Like it's easy to make custom GPTs, which I don't know if we're gonna get into today. But Claude is a really good writer. So Claude is probably my favorite in terms of just what it says, but it feels clunkier. And it like will crash sometimes, you run out of memory sometimes. But if you're ever writing something that's like important, like writing a social post that feels weird, or a blog, or an email, or a book, or with like Claude is just a great writer. I think it's infinitely a better writer than ChatGPT. Gemini, I don't use a ton, although I like feel like I need to. I will say Gemini has the best image generation.
That's what, well, Grok does too, I feel like.
Yeah, that's one of the big reasons that we switched to
Switched-
those two.
Yeah.
But Gemini, the photos, like if you've ever done like AI photos, I think Gemini looks the best.
Yeah.
Grok still looks AI to me, where it's like you look almost like a movie, like it's just too like ChatGPT and Grok still have this kind of like
Are you talking for like taking like an actual photo?
Like
that
photos.
You want to look like
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
I mean, like this one, obviously.
yeah, that's more like a cartoon. Grok can do creative. So the other thing that's cool about Grok is connected to Twitter or X or Elon. And so if you have like relevant, hey, tell me what's going on right now in Israel, or they just voted on this thing. Because Grok is like pulling constantly from Twitter or X. So it has the most up to date, like what is happening. Because sometimes I'll ask ChatGPT.
What she said?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. But it's helpful for that because it's literally pulling all of that data. And sometimes I'll ask ChatGPT questions and it doesn't know like today's information. Or like even like the stock market, or I was asking ChatGPT about like Bitcoin because it's crashing.
Well, chat, you can tell chat is regulated.
Yeah.
There's some places and they're like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And Grok is very
I
good,
need
like
to-
unfiltered. Like they've kind of prided themselves on like it being unfiltered and irreverent and.
But does it also does it get to know you?
I haven't dived into Grok as much. So I'm mainly going to be talking about chat, but I will say like these are helpful tools. Gemini's really cool. I think Gemini and chat are like the main ones. But Claude, if you have a Claude account, you should sign up for it if you do any sort of writing because it just sounds great. So number one thing, I think I talked about this last time, but if you aren't here, if you're not doing this, the most important thing you can ever do is use the dictation tool. Like this changed my life. Like this changed the game. This changed how I work. This changed what I do. And so if you're on ChatGPT, blocking me. There's this microphone button right here. So there's two versions. So you have this little guy here, and I'll show you what that does. And you have this microphone here. But you want to use the microphone. You can also get the desktop app, which I won't show up on my screen, but I have like the app version as well. And so in my office, and this might not be applicable to depends on what your work says. So I have two windows, and I keep ChatGPT open in the left side window all the time. So even if I'm sending, like I sent a text message to my wife yesterday, and I hit the dictation button. I said, "Hey, I sent a text message to Melissa," and it wrote it. Because when you write, spelling takes a long time. If you mess up, you'll go correct it. You get punctuation. Like our default, we're trained to like write right, and so when you talk, it just changes the game of it. And so I would say like anything that is like information heavy. Any emails you do, like use the just try not to type as much as you can. Caveat to that's probably bad for our brains. Jamey's trying to kill me. Probably not good for our brains. But I would say like that's literally like the most like important, the biggest AI hack. Like, and I build custom GPTs. I build this stuff. But like this is the one. Is anybody already doing that? Like, anybody mess with that? Okay, let me just show you what it looks like.
What is the other,
last year?
what is
Yeah,
the other
and I-
button next to the dictate?
Okay, well, let me show you what that does
Oh,
first.
yeah.
So this is
Oh, they
the
talk back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I'm in a room full of real estate agents. Oh, it's gonna echo. I'm gonna do it on my phone. Oh, shoot. Show you all. So I use this sometimes when I'm in my car and I'm like bored and I want to talk to ChatGPT, and then my kids use this because it's really fun to like tell them stories. So the little black button to the right. I am in a room full of our real estate agents talking and teaching on AI. Do you have anything that you think we should talk about or cover?
Since you've got real estate agents in the room, let's hit what's practical. Talk about how AI can streamline lead generation, like analyzing market data.
Okay, so the black button is the talking back and forth function. And it's pretty cool. Like sometimes I'll use that like if like I'm driving and I want to have a conversation. Y'all have conversations?
No.
Oh, my goodness. Got it. I mean, like,
Yeah.
like I just was watching. So for example, like I just watched this. I watch movies in the morning. I watched like, but I just watched There Will Be Blood, which was Daniel Day-Lewis. It was kind of this dark. Anyways, so I'm like driving to work today, and I was like, "Hey, can you tell me about like, is this a true story?" And so that I use it for like that type of stuff. We're having a conversation, or like,
So it's
"Hey."
just basically we're like giving you the research that you would normally do and like read yourself. It's kind of giving it.
Yeah,
like
so I'll just
telling
like
you.
ask it questions like, "Hey, I ate this today. What do you think that means?" Like, it's
But I
fun
wanna
for like
click,
quick
right?
stuff. I don't use that for like work. So if I'm like emailing clients or I'm doing, any type of work stuff, I really don't use the black button very much because it's also the way it talks more conversationally, which is kind of cool. It's kind of neat, but I use 90% of the time this microphone. And so an example of this would be, hey, I'm in a room full of real estate agents right now. We're talking about AI and how to use it. Can you come up with 6 bullet points that would be helpful to cover, that would be strategic, that might move us forward? What would that look like? So the beautiful thing about talking is you can kind of just brain dump. And sometimes I'll talk for like 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Sometimes I'll like, you can pause. Wait, did that not work?
I think you hit X instead of.
Yeah.
Shoot. I'm in a room full of real estate agents. We're talking and training on AI. Can you give like 6 bullet points that would be really helpful, strategic ways that you could use AI to grow their businesses? So it does that, it formats it spells it right, it sends. But if I type that, like that would have taken me a couple minutes. Blah, whatever it's saying.
Would you like this in a
PDF.
Yes, I do, with my logo.
Yes.
And my color.
But see, ChatGPT doesn't do it very, that's where
Okay, so
it fails me with it.
So
like,
that was
because
great.
logos.
That was helpful, but I want to send like an email recap now. Can you write an email from me that's pretty personal because it's like a group of folks I know well. Like, so write an email from me with this and how they can use it, and maybe bring in like a couple of real life examples. Can you do that for me?
Like, I like ChatGPT, verbiage. Gemini's very much, it's like just much there.
But you see how fast that was?
Yeah, that's way better than everything.
So if I have to write, so here's another example. So look, it's writing my email for me. So here's I think feedback. Go ahead.
No, I just have a question. So when you do the dictation portion, can you have it pull in images as well?
You have to upload it.
You have to upload them.
Okay, because like last week, Holly sent out an email. We
Oh
sent
my
out an email,
gosh.
not that for myself, but the funny thing is that I was talking about keeping out our surveys and then she sent her entire CRM keys name, so.
And so
things got
I
really
changed it
very
in one place to
powerful.
Ken instead of Keith, and then the last I didn't catch, and I was like, oh, well, that'll be a good
But
conversation.
anyways, I was like
starter.
working with ChatGPT like on 2026 design trends, whatever, and it would actually pull in the images as well. So like it made it really easy to like upload it and rechat.
So I could even say, okay, great, thanks for doing that. Can you make a little like Instagram story formatted card with some of these points on that would be good for my stories to share from the 6th Avenue platform? Can you try to match the 6th Avenue end?
It will do that too.
Yeah. It would be better if I like at this point, if I had a custom GPT or I uploaded our 6th Avenue colors.
So we can load that already in ChatGPT, like have a.
Yeah, and I'll show you how to do that eventually. So right now it's writing the slides. Let's stop it. Okay, thanks for doing that, but I want you to make an actual like image, like an actual story. I need one carousel story that I could use. I need to actually like make it. but talking is so much faster. So now it'll make an image. And so Grok and Gemini might be better at image creation.
Yeah,
but
they
you can
are.
See,
I feel like they are, and they're faster, because sometimes this takes like
takes forever.
10 minutes.
Well,
Gemini is like
but
within a minute.
so for Christmas, I bought a bunch of like olive oil and flour from Italy, and I like shipped it here because we like that stuff. And I had ChatGPT make a little card, 5x7 card that says, "Here's the ISIS recipe for my favorite way to make pasta that we got in Italy." I printed that at Walgreens and I gave that to people.
Yeah.
But I literally used like ChatGPT to do it. So you can see over here, it's making it. We'll come back to it in a sec. But talking, okay? If you learn anything today, talking to it. And so if you don't have the app for your phone, get the app for your phone. Claude also has an app. The annoying thing is the Claude desktop version, you can't talk, which is really annoying. So sometimes I'll open ChatGPT, I'll talk into that, transcribe it, and then throw that into Claude. I hate that Claude doesn't have that. It's still creating. Let's see.
Claude has an app too.
Is there,
Roughly, what's the cost?
I think it's a free version.
oh, okay. I use
Well, I
all the
pay
free,
for
we pay for the pro for ChatGPT,
Yeah.
but the rest of them are, I just
Yeah.
use the generic free one.
The other thing is using AI as a note taker. So one of my two great uses for it, like for after this meeting. So if you have it, I don't know how y'all probably don't do Zooms very often. If you do Zooms, record the Zooms. You can record I'll record the way you use a Google Meet. I'll take the transcript and I'll throw it into ChatGPT afterwards
Okay.
and say, I need to send a follow-up email. Can you give me some bullet points? The other thing that I do, Patty, a lot is when I go to meetings, I use a remarkable thing like that, or I'll use pen and paper. Because I feel like when I'm talking to a client, one, I want to show them that I'm listening.
Yeah.
So the act of me writing, I feel like shows I care a lot. And then two, it helps me remember things. So anytime I'm meeting any sort of client, any sort of lead, I'm taking notes. So you should do that no matter what. It's active listening, whether you use it or not. So I'll write notes there. And then as soon as I get back into the office or back in front of my computer, I'll open ChatGPT and I'll say, see, it just made these little cards. It's all the right colors. So then I would have to say, hey, can you make these coral? And here's our cool black colors. But I'll do something like this. I'll say, hey, I was just in a meeting with a client. We're going to list their house. I took a bunch of notes. I'm going to brain dump them here. Can you help me organize my notes? They live in Bimbrook. The house is like on half an acre. It has a new roof. The pool might have a leak. They also have 2 kids. They're wanting, blah, blah, blah. But you can just brain dump. But I'll take my notes from that. I'll brain dump it into this. I'll hit send. It'll do that. And then I'll say, hey, I'm going to send a recap email.
I just do all that the old fashioned.
In an email, yeah.
But like,
It's gonna be a good takeaway.
yeah, but
Yeah, but that's what I do.
Because I feel like that gives me unfocused attention with the client.
Yeah.
It helps me remember stuff, and then I'll put it into here to organize it.
Right.
Because the Remarkable doesn't read my handwriting. It's supposed to read handwriting, but it doesn't read my handwriting. So using it as a note taker is super important. Okay, my other favorite hack is AI as a thinking partner. I know you've embraced this idea. So most people treat AI like a vending machine. You put in a question, answer. That's a mistake. So the 2 things we're going to learn is one, how to customize it so it's more you. I don't know if we'll have time to do much of that today. But I like to ask it to interview me before I'm doing something important. So before you generate, ask me 3 clarifying questions so you fully understand my goal. So for example, let me let's make a new.
New chat.
You check.
There we go. I had a meeting with a real estate agent today for the brokerage at 6th Avenue, and I want to do a market update, but I want it to actually be like practical and helpful. Can you help me make that market update? It needs to be like short and simple because this is like we're just in a room, conference room talking. I want you to help me do that, but before you do that, can you interview me and ask me some clarifying questions to make sure we're on the same page? So I don't want you to start it yet. I want you to ask me questions so we get on the same page first. This infinitely makes your output way better. Also, sometimes if I just have an idea, hey, I'm thinking about this thing, I'm noodling on this, I have this idea for social content or something. So love that instinct. Market update, blah, blah, blah. See, it's asking questions. So now what I'll do, I'm gonna stop it. Okay, your first question was who's in the room specifically? Well, there's like eight people. It's mainly like seasoned agents who've been doing this, 5+ years. It's folks who care about their business. We've got a mix of Mansfield, some Parker County. We have one new guy who's getting his license, so this is all new to him. But it's mainly like our core team. Realistically, let's say like 7 minutes. What market? Well, let's say Mansfield and Fort Worth. Parker County. Are you interested more in macro to micro signals? I don't really know what that means. I just think I'm like, what would be helpful for them to know, for them to market, talk to their clients about? That's probably what I'm thinking that matters. See how that kind of like took, like, I'm just talking to it, just brain dumping. But what if you're working on like a meaningful project? And sometimes it'll like get it wrong. It's like, this was not good. Say, hey, you didn't get it. Ask me some clarifying questions first. And so when I make custom GPTs, which I'll show you here in a little bit, I program my custom GPTs to ask me questions before it gets going, if that makes sense. So using it as a thinking partner is a game changer. Ask me clarifying questions first. If you're doing just like a quick thing, like, hey, I need a good restaurant. But even that, like, I want a good restaurant, asking some questions why, like, it may ask him. But I don't do it all the time, but if I'm doing like deep work, it's very helpful to say, interview me, ask me some questions. Do you have any examples of that? Like,
I do most of that stuff. I don't really talk to it, but I want to try.
Yeah.
I think more in segments. I think this is the first step that I'm talking about with you, but here's this stuff. Now you've given me this response. Great. Now we're going to go down this rabbit hole, and I'm typing it all.
Yeah.
At 4:38.
Yeah. But even something like, hey, I need to send a bad news email to a client. Like, we found their dream home, put in an offer. They were so excited, and they just got beat out. So I need to break the news to them. I texted them, but I want to send like a formal email so they have something in writing. Can you help me do that? It's going to be soft but encouraging. But before I do that, can you interview me and ask me some questions first, so we're on the same page? Great. But the beautiful thing about talking is, like, you can see it asks me all these questions, but I'm able to kind of, like, if I sat and wrote down my answers to that, it would take me 10 minutes. And that took me like 2 minutes. So it's at like, what exactly would happen? The emotion, it's just asking questions, so I would fill that in and that would help draft that. The other big thing is giving feedback. So I always say, like, the first draft is rarely the final draft. So this is just part of like your brain. You have to like know going into it. The first draft is really the final draft. I'm gonna have to give feedback, and I gotta be okay giving feedback. It's AI, so it's easier to give feedback. It hurts feelings. So like, this is shit. Well, I'll get mad. I'm like, you're not getting what I'm saying. But if you just know, like, it's gonna give me something, it's gonna give me an email, and I'm probably gonna have to tweak it. So now our goal is eventually to get custom GPTs and customize our chat GPT so it gets better, but you're always going to give feedback. And so using the dictation to give feedback is better. So I like this part, but not that part, make the section longer, fix the formatting, remember my original prompt. If you have a long conversation and it'll start going in like crazy directions. So yesterday I was working on a thing, and then I was like, hey, I want to give you an example of like one of the end product I'm making. Here's one I did, and I started focusing on that, and I was like, and it started going down a rabbit trail, and I was like, hey, stop, pause, go back and look at my original prompt. We're missing the marker. I need you to zoom back out. You're missing the point of what we're doing. Let's start that over. So I'll say something like, based on my original prompt and the feedback I've given, did you actually do what I asked? Sometimes I'll have it evaluate what it
I
just
say
did.
please and thank you to it.
But look at what you just wrote. Do you think it meets the goal? If not, what should we change? Sometimes it forces the AI, because some of the AI will just kind of do weird things sometimes. Or sometimes it'll like misinterpret your feedback and go down a rabbit trail. And so these are prompts I use a lot. Like, hey, what do you think I'm going to say about this? I want you to read this critically. Do you think we did the best? Do you think it's the best you could be? Which I know that sounds weird, but then it'll be like, you're right. Here's what was wrong with this. Do you want me to fix it? And I'll be like, yes, you got it right. Let's fix it. But I use this a lot. Revisit the reference library examples. So we're going to talk about reference examples later.
You talk to your AI like I talk to my kids when they
Your
were
children.
little. They'd be like, I am extremely disappointed in you.
Yeah.
You did not clean your room the way that I expected you to.
I've used this recently. I have sellers that are divorced and they don't get along. And so when I send their weekly emails, I'm always like, I'm the neutral party and I have these two things happening at the same time. So keep them on the same page, recognize their emotional, keep my tone professional and fair. And because sometimes I say things that I'm like, you know what? Tell them to pull their head and that they need to grow up and we need to sell this. And AI will tell me like, here's the professional way to do it.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes it's helpful to verbalize
It
it
is,
Right.
and get it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm like, oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
That's
So much
exactly what
better
I
than
meant.
what I was gonna say.
That's what I meant, minus all the 4-letter words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. One other really helpful prompt to know. So one a prompt I love is like, based on my original prompt, do you think you did it right? Based on the feedback I've given, what do you think about this? I wanted to evaluate. I also wanted to ask me questions. The other thing that happens, especially with ChatGPT, is it loves to rewrite everything. So sometimes it'll make me an email, or it'll make me whatever I'm working on, and it's pretty good. I'm like, this is pretty good, and I'll give it some feedback. Hey, I don't like this line. Can you tweak that? Or like this felt off, and then it'll be like, okay, and it'll rewrite the whole thing. It'll throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is what I say.
Yeah.
And so you have to tell it not to do this. So I like this draft. Please don't rewrite it. Hey, your first one was great. Remember, I liked your first one. I just wanted those tweaks. Please only change this one sentence. I like 80% of this. Only adjust the formatting on this section. And sometimes I'll use that phrase too. I felt like you just threw the baby out with bathwater. I love this first version. I just want you to change these couple points because those look great. So that's like, I wish I didn't have to do this, but this is unfortunately an annoying thing about ChatGPT where I feel like it loves to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So dictate, ask it to ask you clarifying questions, give it feedback. How do you think you just did? And four, don't throw the baby out with bathwater. The other thing about dictating is it captures your voice better. It captures like how you actually talk, which I think is helpful.
Does it capture the tone?
A little bit, yeah. I think because it's the way you talk, and so I think it's better than if I'm like typing.
It's kind of like when you tell it to go look, like scan your social media and, you know, just create this post in my tone, then
Yeah.
it'll do it that way. So it'll go back and look at your stuff and then it becomes more like you. That was from the last time.
Yes.
Yeah. How much time is that?
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
But we have 3 more weeks of this.
3 more weeks.
Coming.
Okay.
over the next
I'm
few
gonna share. So I want to just show you. Let me show you where we're going because it'll be helpful. So you can see all of these things right here. These are my GPTs. These are all like, I have more of them, but these are all like things where I've uploaded stuff, I've given it instructions, and each of these is designed to do a thing. One thing is like my end goal with you guys to teach you how to make a custom GPT. So you can have a GPT that would be like, this is my inspection response GPT. Because when I would get an inspection report, that to me is like, I got to put my detailed hat on and send a really thorough response. And so you could take some of your best inspection report emails and say, here's the inspection. here's my email I sent. Here's an inspection, here's the email I sent. I want to make a GPT that just helps me mimic my style and how I respond to inspections. Or you can be like, this is my CMA GPT, where I'm going to upload, I'm going to pull a cloud CMA, the big giant one, and a quick CMA, and this is how I send CMAs to clients after a listing presentation. Let's do that. I would make a GPT that's like, this is Maria's, Instagram caption GPT. So I have like, this is our 6th Avenue social media one. I have a 6th Avenue email newsletter one. So this is like, I have it trained here. I'm going to write an email newsletter this week, and I want to talk and highlight our top producers from the Real Producers magazine. We had a bunch of our group get that. It's pretty cool, and highlight them. I'm going to copy and paste who's on it on here, but this needs to be kind of just a call out about how our team is special, what we're doing, and kind of, they're making waves in the industry. Can you do some quick research on what the top producers said?
Real producers.
What the Real Producers top producing folks is. Look up what that is first so you know what it is. And then let's draft the email about it. Once you look it up, let me know if you have any questions, and then I'll input the names of the agents who made that and do it. So this GPT is trained. I have a bunch of examples of my past 6th Avenue emails already in here, coupled with information about the brokerage already in here. There's a library system.
So you went and opened your, wait.
I
He
opened-
opened his social
This is
media.
the-
Oh, okay, you
The
opened this
newsletter
okay.
one, yeah.
This is the 6th Avenue
Oh,
Homes
newsletter.
Okay.
So next week, when are we doing it again? 3 weeks.
What?
When am I presenting this again? March.
Yes,
Okay.
first.
So I want to show you how to make a persona doc and then how to make these GPTs. The other thing, if you haven't done this yet, is, well, let's go like, let's go. I want to know. Anyways, today was just ground floor. Next week, we'll dive into more. I want to show you how to make a persona and then how to customize your actual ChatGPT so it's more you. But it starts with building a persona. Any questions about any of that? Any thoughts so far? Download the app on your phone, on your desktop if you don't have it. Get Claude to start talking into it.
Does Gemini have an app?
Yeah.
It does.
It does.
It does.
I think
I
that's
haven't.
in your Google.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's built into Google.
So it's
and
just-
you have
But
an
it
app
does
on?
have a Gemini app.
Then you can get Gemini app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just haven't played in that world. I kind of like hung my hat with ChatGPT, so to speak.
Trent likes Gemini better than ChatGPT.
A lot of
he said.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. And I
It's just
may-
a little bit more generic as far as like wording. So I have to take what it says and put it in ChatGPT to make it a little bit more me.
I don't know anything about it. I just know Trent's like, he's like, after working with both, I like Gemini better than Chat.
But you see how it just like looked up what this stuff was for me?
Mm-hmm.
It's
It
like-
gets you the sources. That's what I
Yeah,
like too.
And so like I like having research like this. So now I would say, great, here's the folks, and it's already trained in my voice and how I write the email newsletters because this is a custom GPT. So it'll write it. Cool. That's it.
Thank you, Jamie. That is outstanding, and that's why I wanted to bring up this. Hopefully this will help us, a little bit of exposure at a time, which is why we're gonna do it once a month. Just so we can start down these little pathways to better AI creation, because that's where we're all going. If you read any of the documentation from NER and TXR, if you're not on AI, then you're behind.
Yeah, it'll speed things, and we're gonna get granular and make some GPTs, which are they're kind of a lot of work to make. Once you have them, it's like so cool. They're so helpful once you have them.
So maybe we need to focus on getting that next time.
Yeah. Next time we're gonna make a persona, and I'm gonna show you once you have the persona how to customize your GPT. So and y'all can honestly do this now. I'm gonna show you how to do it better next week. But if you click this little button down here, see this, and you click personalization. Oops. There's this whole section where you can write custom.
Is that only on
instructions.
Pro though? Or is that
I think it's on all of them. Yeah. You
Well,
can
because I
put
was
it-
just telling Maria, we paid for Pro. I haven't seen a huge difference in the free versus Pro. I mean.
You pay for the $200 Pro or the $20?
No, the $200 pro.
For the whole year.
Yeah, $200, the whole year one.
Yeah, but you can't do like image.
The difference between the paying for it is you can upload way more stuff
Yeah.
and it'll work way more longer than the images.
I'll just go to Gemini, use that, go back to.
You can
So
also
can you
do,
that's the
do
thing about-
virtual
yeah.
staging, imaging on,
the $20
Gemini?
is worth it. It's
Without
totally
Yeah,
paying
worth it.
we pay for the $200 a year, yeah, but I just haven't seen, that's what I'm Maria, I just haven't seen, for you, probably it's worth it. For me, I just,
Once you start making the custom GPTs, I think
Yeah.
you'll think it's worth it. It also has, yeah.
it's okay.
Well, I'm gonna call the meeting at this point. It's 11 o'clock. Thank you all for joining us online. It was good seeing everybody there. Hopefully we'll see y'all next week. Don McJostick and Radica will be here at 9:45. Please come early. See you then.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Angela was saying she got blocked. Like you run out of memory. on
Oh,
the
yes, it'll tell me, hey, you have to come back at 1 o'clock.
You gotta wait the whole
Yeah.
day.
You're like, no, I'm thinking now.
Yeah.
That's when I'll go to Gemini and finish. I'm like, okay, we'll take this and now.
GPT already knows my personality.
Yeah.